Now Ferree. Any chance of a flyer here, Gary?
Definite chance of a flyer, Jim. Ball's just in the right rough. It's not in the short rough, it is in the longer rough, but it is a pretty good lie. 177 yards.
This is downhill.
You heard him say it's downhill.
All right, he had a 5-iron out, which I think was definitely too much clubbed. He's going back and taking a 6-iron. All the trouble here is long. All he wants to do, carry the ball somewhere around the front part of the green and let it run back up into the middle.
Middle, key word, not at the flag. I wouldn't gamble here.
Made a good looking swing. Look at this golf shot. Look at this golf shot.
So much for my safe theory there.
Well, now, a little birdie try there from 9 feet to go 10 under par.
Started it right, trying to turn it over.
It's got to go a little bit.
It's got to get up.
Go.
Got a good bounce.
I get the feeling Lee probably hit that on the toe of the club, which took a lot of the zip off it.
Jim Ferree birdied here Friday, parred it yesterday.
Also taking a 6-iron. Good play. Got plenty of club. If anything, a little long is better than short. All the trouble's short, with both the bunkers being short of the flag. Great swing. Great looking shot. Going right at the flag.
What a high to the left. He's made one birdie today. That might be all he needs. Colbert and Trevino unable to put any heat on Jim Ferree. His lead is 3 when we come back. Out of South Carolina, former Tar Heel from North Carolina. Watch this, the elongated putter, the big curl from right to left. And that tied him with Jim Colbert for the lead. Almost hit himself in the head with a putter. He said, I like to live recklessly.
The official baton twirl on that one.
On the regular tour back in 1958.
And time did not run out on Jim Ferree.
No, sir.
He's done it.
Doesn't matter.
Thank you.
Doesn't matter. He birdied this hole yesterday. He'll bogey it today. He'll finish at 8 under par. And a round of even par 72. There's your champion of the Bell Atlantic Classic, Jim Ferree. Some smiles in South Carolina. Karen getting ready for a huge barbecue. 82,500 to buy a lot of briquettes.
Jim, congratulations. How's it feel? 5 long years.
Gary, it's something probably you understand. A lot of people don't understand it. I'll be 60 in a very short period of time. And like I said, after the first day with the 60, whatever I shot, it was a real good score and was leading the tournament. I said, you know, time is running out. And I was really fortunate. You know, Lee and Jim Colbert are such great players, and neither one of them really got anything going and just let me keep pecking along. And that was the only bogey I made today, you know.
Congratulations.
So, thank you very much.
Fantastic.
There is your champion, and a huge roar at the Long Cove Club on Hilton Head. Wife Karen watching back home. Congratulations to Jim. Don't go away.
I'm David Ames. I was one of the developers of Long Cove Club. My partners were Joe Webster and Wes Wilhelm. We started Long Cove in 1980. Had a contract on the property in January of 1980, closed on the property in June of 1980, and sold our first lots on August 14th of 1980, and closed on that group of lots in November. Construction of the golf course commenced in 1980 in June, as well as the construction of the first phase. And we opened up the back nine in November of 1981. I'm so glad that Long Cove is recognizing Jim Ferree's contributions to this club and to the community of Long Cove. I think that what I sense is that Jim is a natural friend. And that's one reason why I feel honored to be able to be a part of this video, because I want future Long Cove members to know of Jim's extraordinary contribution to the golf course, but also to the character of what Long Cove is. It was Jim Ferree who got us the ranking 19. I think that was in 1983, or it might have been 1985. It was Jim Ferree's contribution through the Society of Seniors and the people he knew in the golf industry that gave us that ranking. It's difficult for me to encapsulate in a few words of what I believe Jim Ferree's contribution to Long Cove represent. His family contribution, his commitment to this community, loyalty, coming back, living here when he was representing other communities, says so much about his love of this place. I think Jim Ferree's contribution to this community go far beyond golf course, golf itself, but to the way he conducts himself, his humility, his character. And I'm glad we're able to tell the story for him.
Well, hello. My name is Jim Ferree, and I'm a proud member of the Long Cove Golf Club. I've been here since the very beginning, and it's just a wonderful place to be. And the reason I'm here is that I got involved with some young people that wanted to get this done, and it turned out so good that I'd played all over the world and all over this country, and I was fortunate I'd made enough money to be able to live wherever I wanted to, so I decided this would be the place. I grew up in Pinehurst, North Carolina, and they play a lot of golf there, so I lived there till I was 12, and we didn't play very much as children then. The big war was going on. We were fighting Germany, so we weren't playing a lot of golf, but we did play some. And then we moved to Winston-Salem when I was 12, and there was really nothing to do but get in the car and go to the club with my dad every morning, and I could play golf, go swimming, and putt, chip, do whatever I needed to do. So I got started off at as a 12-year-old, and there was nothing to do but that. It was, my dad was a very good player and a real good teacher. He taught a lot of guys out of our club we had a lot of real good players at Old Town Club. And the girls at Chapel Hill looked a lot better than the girls did on that Duke campus. And the other big reason was we had two boys from Winston-Salem, from Old Town Club, playing on the University of North Carolina golf team at that time. And Harvey Ward was a big idol of mine among amateurs, and I knew him very well, and I'd played with him in a couple of little pro-ams and things, so I decided to go to Chapel Hill. And nobody could get a scholarship then. It's just you went wherever you'd like to go if you could afford to go there. After college, I got drafted. So they let you stay in school till you graduated. So you made sure you didn't flunk out of school, you were gone. I think we were fighting in North Korea at that time. So I graduated in June, and in September I got drafted. Went to Fort Jackson to train and ended up staying there for 18 months. I got out. They had a program that you could get out 6 months early if you went back to college. So I had graduated, and I went back and I took a course in I think they call it time management or something like that. I graduated with a BS degree in business. And I was taking this course, and I said, "No, I must be smart as hell. I know the answer to all these questions." And I've come to find out they had just changed the number on a class that I already had. And so I breezed through that like nothing and played a lot of golf and two of my college roommates had been there for the same time I had, and they were still in school. They couldn't make enough quality points to get out of school, so they were in their 6th year of school at Chapel Hill, and so we just played a lot of golf all that summer instead. But then after I got out of that, I turned pro.
Hi there, I'm Bob Crosby, greeting you for World Championship Golf. We're playing today's game at the very intriguing course, Harder Hall Country Club in Sebring, Florida. Ours is a first-round match. I'd like to introduce our contestants. First, a man who has been the second leading money winner in the Professional Golfers Association, Dr. Kerry Middlecoff. Doc?
Hi, Bob. How are you?
Good to have you on World Championship Golf. Not only are you a legendary figure in the game, but you're a fine, true sportsman and gentleman.
Yes, sir.
Tell me some of the tournaments you've won. The National Open.
Well, I've won the Open, Bob, a couple of times, and the Masters.
Masters.
The Western Open. And
You've won them all. And how about my brother Bing's tournament up there, the Crosby tournament at Pebble Beach?
Well, I've been very fortunate there, Bob. I've won the individual twice, and I've won the pro-amateur twice.
And runner-up?
I was runner-up twice in both individual and pro-amateur.
Well, he's really come up with a lot of loot for you.
Pretty good, I'll tell you that.
Doc, let's meet your opponent for today's game. This is a youngster who plays out of Crystal River, Florida. Fine, strong golfer, Jim Ferree. Hi, Jim.
Hello, Bob. Good to see you.
Of course, you know the good doctor.
Yeah, sure do.
Jim, it's very interesting to me. You learned to play golf by taking lessons and listening to your dad.
Yes, I did. I can't say that I've never had a lesson. I guess I've had 10,000 of them.
Where is your dad professional?
He's pro at the Old Town Club in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
You know, I love golf, as I think all of us do. I think everybody should play it. I notice that you wear glasses.
Yes, I do. Sometimes, well, I just couldn't play without them, that's all.
Well, has it made a change in your game, wearing glasses?
No, it hadn't made a change, but if I didn't wear them, it would make a change.
Gallery, look out. I'm sure that you agree with me. It's very helpful to have along on the commentary a man who really knows golf. Today I have one of the outstanding professional golfers, Chick Harbert. Hi, Chick.
Hi, Bob.
Good to have you with us again.
Thank you.
Beautiful tee shot, Bob. Good side of the fairway, the hole opening up from that side. He's right half the fairway.
Chick, Doc uses a little bit of an open stance.
Well, he wanted to block out that left side. He wanted to make sure he put it on the right side of the fairway.
And Jim Ferree really turned on that tee shot. He hit it a ton right down the middle of the fairway. Both players are far enough off the tee that they can reach this par 5 hole in 2 shots. Both perfectly positioned.
Well, I think I was 27 or 28 then. I don't know what happened, but I'd been playing pretty well. And I got up there and I'd gotten a Ray Cook Blue Goose, because that's Billy Casper was putting one of those, and Billy and I played a lot of golf together. And he was doing really well on the tour, and And me and a couple other boys that were playing with him on a regular basis, we were struggling, and he was right in there winning big money and had won a tournament or two. And I got up there, and I played the first round, and I shot something like 69, which was pretty good. And I went out the second day, and I was playing along there, and I was making birdies and stuff like that. And I was copying Billy Casper putting stroke. You know, a little pop stroke where you did like that. And they were all going in. And I got to the 17th hole, and I rolled in about a 30-footer for a birdie. And all of a sudden, good God, I was 9 under par. I thought, and the last hole was a par 5, and I thought, oh boy, if I can just par this last hole, I've had a heck of a round. And I hit a really good drive and a real good second shot just off the back of the green over there. And I got my 8-iron out to play a chip and run, and I said, I shouldn't do that. I've got a downhill two-way breaker. I think I can lag it down there 3 or 4 feet in the hole. If I make that, I've shot 10 under par. And I went ahead and putted it and stood there and watched it roll down there, and it went in the hole. 11 under par. So I finished up with a couple of 30-footers in a row, and that last one was a downhiller with a double break in it. And at that time I was sporting a straw hat from Jamaica. And I think there's some pictures where you get a picture of that little cocky looking straw hat. And so I won that tournament. And the thing is, Billy Casper hit a putt on the last hole that couldn't miss. But somewhere it just might as well have had a cover over the hole. It just rolled right through the hole and didn't go in. And I always would talk to him about it, and he was a very nice person. And he said, in a way, I was really glad that ball didn't go in, because I'd already won a couple of tournaments, and you were a good player, and you deserved to win a tournament. But so that is a lot of good luck in that. Yeah, we had the tour sponsored a PGA Tour deal down through Central and South America. And I played, I found out it was much easier to go down there and play, where they made a big guarantee for the purse, and they didn't have real big fields. They had real good players. They had the old British Walker Cuppers played there all the time. Not Walker Cuppers, but Ryder Cup players. And the best players from all over South America played. So we had real good fields there. And it was quite interesting. And I was fortunate. I won, I think, 4 times. I won in Panama and Jamaica, Caracas, and Venezuela. The fun really started when I got on the senior tour. There I was back playing with all the guys I'd played with for most of, a big part of my life there. And fortunately, my health was good, my back was good, I didn't have any aches or pains, and all of a sudden I could play as well or better than people that were better than I was, because I was just fortunate. It was good luck to don't have a bad back or a bad this or a bad anything. I was as healthy as whatever you want to call it. So that was it, but that was really fun playing and playing out there with all those guys that we played with before. But you're asking questions about playing with really great players like Ben Hogan and Sam Snead and those guys. See, they were right much older than I was when I went on the tour, but they were really good. Hogan was still winning Opens, and Snead was winning stuff like crazy. And I was fortunate. Both of them knew my father from Pinehurst, and so they were nice to me. I could play practice rounds with them and sit down and have a beer with them and anything like that. So because of my father, I got very good treatment from big-time players.
Jim Ferree for birdie out at 13. Our Andy North is watching.
Jim Ferree has 12 feet.
Get him.
A little left, a little right to left. There we go, Jim.
This is just a great story. Ferree back from shoulder and wrist problems last year. He'll turn 64 in about 2.5 months. He's only one shot off the lead. Could be tied if Jack misses his par putt at 13. Ferree trailing by 1, third shot at 14.
As Gary was saying, this used to be a closely mowed area. Now there's enough grass. The ball's sitting very nicely. He's a little bit on upslope. He's got plenty of green. This is not a very difficult shot.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Keep coming.
Nicely done.
Ferree was saying about this Cochise course this morning, it scares him to death. Every time he makes a par, he's happy.
Jim Ferree from 64 yards, and I think this is a little bit too close to really be able to spin it.
Ferree will have a chance for a birdie of his own.
Pretty good.
That rock outcropping is about 225 yards off the tee. That's long. Hang on. Ferree trailing by 2. The leaders, Nicholas and Oki. 3 holes to go in regulation.
And he's dropped the ball into a real nice lie, 83 yards to the hole, and he has a nice angle. He can land the ball in the front part of the screen and run it all the way back to the hole if he needs to.
Jim Ferree, if he were to win, would be the oldest winner on the Senior PGA Tour ever. Ferree to get to within 1.
Any hopes of winning, I think he's got to make this one a little left to right, about 4 inches out of the hole.
Get in.
That away.
That sky's getting a little ominous, kids.
I think we're going to get done plenty of time. And to add a little bit to Gary's telestrator, a little bit of breeze is from the right and behind the players, which even makes it harder to stop the ball on this green.
Ferree trailing by 1.
Jim feels more comfortable playing the ball from right to left. If he could get it in here 15, 20 feet short left of the pin, that's really the flattest area. Obviously, you'd like it real close, but just getting it on this back part of the green is a good shot at this stage.
Yeah, we've seen a number of bogeys on this hole toward the end of the tournaments. Years past.
Right to left.
It's not in my face.
No.
One place you don't want to be is short in that front bunker.
This ball's going to be long and left. It's going to be a tough little chip shot. Let's look at this one from a lot of different angles. This is a big putt. You know, with the possibility of an eagle in the last hole, you never know what might happen. But this one is a must. And from a player standpoint, you know that putting this, you just have to make it. This is one of those putts you just have to will in.
Jim Ferree certainly has the length to reach the 18th hole in 2. Par 5.
Hey, Jim Ferree, and we've talked about his length. He can get there in 2 on this hole.
He surely can, Jim. He's hit a really low, hard drive that this thing's going to hit the ball ground right.
Ferree.
213 yards hole. So this would be really something if you can put it back there and get a decent putt at an eagle. Just get it back on the green and give yourself a putt. Ball's to the right. It's got a hook. That ball caught the absolute top of the tree. Very, very unlucky. If it gets through the tree, it's probably going to be in the right front fringe, which would have been a great putt at it.
He's almost side by side along with Isao Aoki for an update. Thank you, Carl. Walking up with Isao Aoki. Great story. Won last week in his native Japan in the snow and sleet and freezing rain. Started the day tied with Jack Nicklaus. 4 under today, still tied with Jack. Isao and Jim Ferree right down there side by side in that transition area.
And as is allowed under the rules, Aoki allowed to remove loose impediments in the transition area. You may also ground your club lightly, and you can also take practice swings.
The McDowell Mountains framing the 4 courses, 3 designed by Jack already complete. Apache under construction. Jack, of course, won his coming out party here in 90, and he repeated in 91. On this Final Four weekend, tell you what, they've got some golf fans here in the Scottsdale, Phoenix area. And this man is just a remarkable story. Bad wrist, rotator cuff last year, stopped playing after the Vantage Championship last year. He won, I think, 5 super senior events. Worked on his swing, changed it, worked with an Australian, and he's come back better and stronger than ever.
Well, he certainly has, Jim. Peter Croker is the gentleman's name from Australia that he's been working with. The system they call Natural Golf, featured this month in Golf Digest. It's obviously working for Jim.
Real fast. He does have a sandwich. That's what he's going to try to do, I believe. He needs to make this for 3. I'll tell you what, I think he'd like to make a 4. Just these other guys don't have gimme birdies yet. But he's thinking 3. Oh, man, is that a good shot?
Fantastic. Well, Jimmy told us he thought it was going to come down to talent and nerves. Well, he showed some great nerves right there.
And that just about seals Jim Ferree for 3rd place. Ferree to finish at 11 under.
Even though he knocks this one in, he probably can't win the golf tournament. Boy, he sure has played well all week long. It's got to give him an awful lot of confidence for the rest of the year. He sure is a nice man. It's nice to see him play well.
Gary's quote about nerves and talent, he can be proud. He didn't fade at the end at all. 2.5 months till his 64th birthday. He gave it his best shot. A final round, 5 under 67. He will finish up 3rd.
Well, you know, they decided they wanted a logo for the senior tour, the regular tour, and that's some other tour that they're running. And I guess they liked what my swing looked like or something, and the girl that drew the pictures for all the what they're going to vote on was a good friend of ours, and because Randy and her daughter were good friends. They were children at the same time, and her husband was an official at the tour, and I guess that they just liked that picture of my finish, and that became the emblem for the senior tour, which meant even though I played like a dog, my swing, I was always at the top of the leaderboard. It all started over beer and hamburgers with a friend of mine, Joe Webster, who was a graduate of the University of North Carolina and also Texas, and we got to be good friends. And he was a pretty ambitious young fella, and he asked me one night, he said, "What do you think would be the chances, or do you think a private club could be successful at Hilton Head?" And I said, I'm not sure, but we could talk about it. We'll figure out whether it is or not, could be or not. And over a period of quite a few conversations, I decided that I thought it could do that, and Joe had some partners, David Ames and Wes Wilhelm, and they all got convinced maybe that would be the thing to do and develop his property. And so with that, the next deal was to get an architect, and we all wanted Pete, and he didn't want to build another course here because he'd done Harbortown, and he didn't think that would be exactly right. But they said, let's send you up to see Pete and Alice up in Indianapolis and see if you can convince him to come down here. And so I flew up and had dinner with Pete and Alice at their home and talked with him about it, and told him he would get paid, and that we wanted a course that was quite different than Harbortown. We needed more tees, bigger greens, so we could, I remember the same people are going to be playing it every day, and we wanted bigger greens with many more pin placements than there is at Harbortown. And he said, well, Alice, I'll talk about it and let you know. And he called us back and said he would do it. And that was the beginning. He came and he moved his whole family here. Himself, Alice, PB, and Pete's dog, and they moved out here. He was here on the property for 104 days, I think it was, while he was building the course. A long time. Well, a little later on, I'd met a young girl when she was 15 and I was about 20, I was 35, I guess, when I was working in Savannah, Georgia, and her family was from Augusta, and her father had brought his children down there to take lessons from me, and so I got to meet this nice young girl, and she was pretty good, and she evidently was a good athlete because she was a wonderful basketball player, and she learned really quick how to play golf good because she won the North and South Carolina Junior Amateur Championship when she was 15. And so I'd gotten to be good friends with their family and all that. And, somewhere along the line, our paths kept crossing, and then we finally got to be better and better friends. And our paths just kind of got woven together through golf, and finally got married, had my wedding ceremony right here, and in the clubhouse here, and then we had a nice baby boy, and we built a house right there on number 1, and so it's been
I happen to know that you still practice a lot and play a lot. Let me ask, did you break your age when you turned 89?
I can't remember. How long ago was that? My birthday was June the 10th.
Yeah, it was almost 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I got no idea what I did. I can't remember what I did yesterday.
I think you remember. What did you shoot on your birthday?
I shot 75. Broke my age by 14.
Well, Gary, I'm here with one happy papa, Jim Ferree, after his 64 today, and his 19-month-old son, Randy. Now, how do you shoot 64 at a course as legendary as Canterbury?
Jim, that's just a kind of a fantasy come true. I spent some time with a good friend of mine, Randy Warren, who's kind of a sports psychologist in Pittsburgh last week, and I'd like to give him a lot of credit. And then this little fella here kind of inspires me. If you can do something this nice, you certainly can shoot a 64.
Did you have any ideas? I'm helped here by the mic. Randy, perhaps a future broadcaster in hand. You were 7 shots back starting today. Did you ever even think about maybe having a shot at victory?
The only thing that gave me any kind of an indication that I might was that that I watched Greg Norman shoot 64 out there in the British Open, and he ended up in a tie, and I hope that maybe I can end up in a tie and do a little better than he did in the playoff.
All right, he's sitting here waiting. Let's go back up to Pat Summerall.